Hey guys, so my name is Alicia, and if you guys didn't know, I sell used clothing on the apps Depop and Poshmark, and every month I make a video talking about what I sold and how much money I made. So today we're going to talk about what sold for the month of October 2021. So last year, I remember October was actually one of my best months ever, so we're going to kind of see how it compares. So this month I actually ended up selling 20 things online. I also ended up selling at the hippie market at the beginning of the month where I sold 8 items, but I'm just going to kind of keep that separate because this is kind of more based on my online sales. So out of my 20 sales, I sold 13 items on Poshmark, only 2 items on Depop, which was really surprising because they're usually pretty even. Sometimes Depop does even better than Poshmark, so that was pretty crazy. And guys, I ended up selling 5 things on Vinted this month. So yes, I decided to start selling on Vinted as a couple of you guys recommended to me. So this month, Vinted did in fact outperform Depop. And I feel like that says a lot. But overall, 20 sales, I'd say that's pretty average for me. And just keep in mind too, guys, that I do have my own clothing pickup service, so I do get a lot of clothes at no cost. So unless otherwise stated, just assume that it did not cost me anything to acquire these items. But anyways, let's get into the first item that I ended up selling. Alright, so the very first item that I ended up selling this month was on Poshmark, and it was these Denim Forum Arlo jeans. So I actually thrifted these, and when I was at the thrift store, I recognized Denim Forum, and I was like, wait, isn't that like really expensive Aritzia brand? So I decided to pick it up, and these were actually priced super reasonably at the thrift store. I actually paid about $8.12 for them, and I ended up selling them on Poshmark for $60. So after all of Poshmark's fees and everything, and the fact that I paid for this item, I actually ended up making $38.32. So that was amazing off of one pair of jeans. And my first sale of the month actually ended up being my highest profit margin of the month. So now every time I'm at the thrift store, I keep my eyes peeled for Denim Forum because they sold super quickly too and had a lot of interest in them, so I will definitely be on the lookout for them again. Okay, so the next thing I ended up selling was also on Poshmark, and it was this Coach Brown crossbody bag. I've actually been selling this one for quite a while, and I honestly did not know what to expect because I do know Coach is like a higher end, more expensive brand, but this item kind of was in not the best shape. So I actually ended up selling it for only $21, which was kind of on the lower end than what I expected, but I was totally happy with that because at the end of the day, I ended up making $12.29. If you guys don't know, $10 is usually my goal profit, and that was above the goal, so I was really happy. So next on Poshmark, I ended up selling this floral lined hooded jacket. This also took a little bit of time to sell, but I feel like if I listed it on Depop, it would have sold quicker just because it was so unique, and like I could maybe pull it off as like fairy core or Y2K or something like that. So that actually ended up selling for $20, and then at the end of the day, I ended up making $11.52, so totally happy with that. So next on Poshmark, I ended up selling this Wilfred Aritzia gray jacket. This took a lot longer than I thought to sell, honestly, because it was Aritzia. I thought people would be really interested in it, but they just weren't. I think it's because it was kind of like an older style. So when somebody ended up sending me an offer for $20, I just accepted it because there was no other interest on this jacket. So at the end of the day, I made $15.48. Not as much as I was hoping to make because this jacket was definitely like originally over $100, but I'll still take it. Then next on Poshmark, I actually ended up selling a bundle of this candy stripe turtleneck and this garage boho tank. The turtleneck I actually picked up at the Goodwill outlet for super cheap. I only paid 96 cents for that item, so that was amazing. And then the boho tank was literally just from my own personal collection that I was getting rid of. I just had it for years and I didn't like it anymore. So at the end of the day for that bundle, I ended up making $18.39. So I was really happy with that, especially because I honestly didn't think that tank top was going to sell because it is kind of an older style, so I just consider that a bonus. Next on Poshmark, I actually ended up selling this Vans tie-dye t-shirt. That ended up selling for $10, and at the end of the day, I ended up making $5.53. So definitely below my goal profit, but to be honest, this shirt was not in the best condition. It kind of had a hole in it, and like, yeah, it just wasn't in the best condition, so I was totally okay with accepting $10 for the item. Then next I actually ended up selling my very first Vinted sale, which was really cool. And it actually ended up selling the next day after I posted it on Vinted. So that was super quick. And it was this Toronto Japanese Film Festival t-shirt. So I'm very glad this one sold because I've actually had it listed on Depop and Poshmark for quite a long time. I also tried to sell it at the hippie market and no one wanted it. So very glad to see that it sold quickly on Vinted. So I ended up accepting an offer for $7. And what's cool about Vinted is that the seller actually doesn't have to pay any fees. So I actually ended up getting sent that $7 straight to my bank account. Now the shirt did originally cost me $1.30 when I picked it up at the Orifice Market. So at the end of the day, I only made $5.70. So once again, not my goal, but for a t-shirt, I thought that was pretty reasonable, especially the fact that nobody else wanted this item, so I was happy to get rid of it for $5. Then next on Depop, I ended up selling this Liz Claiborne floral midi skirt. This is actually the second floral midi skirt that I've ended up selling. I'm pretty much in this cycle now where I keep picking them up, wear it once, list it, it sells, and then I just buy another one. And I actually ended up selling that for $34.99 plus $10 shipping, which was really good. Now I did pick this item up from the thrift store, so it did cost me $9.02. So after all the fees and all that, at the end of the day, I ended up making $29.86, which is still an amazing profit margin for one single item. So I was super happy about that, and I'm definitely going to keep looking for these midi skirts. Then next on Poshmark, I ended up selling this Victoria's Secret pink silky bralette. It actually ended up selling fairly quickly. I ended up selling it for $16, and at the end of the day, I made $11.53, so that was a great profit for that. And then next on Depop, in my last Depop sale of the month, I actually sold these US Polo Assassin Carpenter jeans. So these actually ended up selling fairly quickly, and I wasn't surprised. I kind of had a feeling they were going to do well on Depop. I ended up selling them for $40 plus $10 shipping, and I did pay $7.22 for them at the thrift store. So at the end of the day, I ended up making $21.16. So I was super happy with that. Anytime I can profit basically double the amount that I paid for the item, I'm totally happy with that. Then next on Poshmark, I ended up selling this Massimo Dutti cream cable knit sweater. This was actually brand new with tags. Now somebody ended up sending me an offer for $20, which I kind of was hoping it was going to sell for more because it was originally like $70 or something like that. But I decided to accept that offer, and then I ended up making $15.48. Then next on Poshmark, I sold these H&M vintage slim jeans. I really wasn't sure how well these were going to do because I feel like H&M items are super difficult to sell. And it's funny because I actually listed this on H&M Rewear, so even H&M's own platform couldn't sell these. But I ended up selling them for $19. And at the end of the day, I made $14.53. Then next, I made another sale on Vinted. I actually sold these Edwin khaki trousers, which were really cool. I actually picked these up from the thrift store, and I actually ended up paying $18.06 for these, which was really pricey. I don't know if I'd pick them up again, but I was pretty confident that they would sell because they're so unique. And because these ended up selling on Vinted and I didn't have to pay any fees, I ended up making $21.94, which was amazing. I think if I sold these on Depop or Poshmark, I probably would have only made like $10. So I was really happy with that. Then next on Poshmark, I ended up selling these brand new Hollister skinny jeans. I did not know how well these were going to do, but these actually ended up selling super quickly, and they ended up selling for $27. I think I sent in some discounts and some offers, so at the end of the day, I made $16.87. And I was totally happy with that. Then next on Poshmark, I actually ended up selling these Levi's orange tab jeans. These were vintage. Somebody actually sent me an offer for $40, which I thought was totally fair. I also picked these up at the thrift store, so I paid $9.02 for them. So at the end of the day, I ended up making $21.94. Which I think is a great margin for just one item. And then the last Poshmark sale of the month was this Forever 21 red corset top. Now, I feel like Forever 21 is really hit or miss because they do have some really cute pieces that people don't care about the brand. If the style's cute, they'll buy it. And I think that's what happened here. and I actually ended up selling this one for $16. And at the end of the day, I ended up making $7.85, so a little bit below my goal, but because this was just kind of like a bralette kind of top from Forever 21, I was happy with that. Then I ended up making another Vinted sale. I ended up selling this Roots dark gray turtleneck. This was actually from my recent closet clean out video from my own personal collection, and this actually ended up also selling super quick on Vinted, I think the next day. So somebody actually ended up buying it outright for $25, and because I bought this so long ago, like I don't have the receipt for what I paid for it, I consider that like full profit. So I actually ended up making $25, which is crazy because there are no fees. So that was amazing profit for just, you know, a basic turtleneck. And then finally, on the very last day of the month, I actually ended up making a bundle sale on Vinted. I ended up selling this black and yellow tie-dye t-shirt and this Azora's gray t-shirt, which also were from my closet clean out video. So they ended up selling fairly quickly too. And I actually accepted a $20 offer that someone sent me because I thought that was totally fair, you know, $10 per t-shirt. The tie-dye shirt I did originally pay $5.07 for, and the gray t-shirt I've had it for so long once again, so I didn't count that. So at the end of the day, I actually made $14.93 for those two items, which I was very happy about. So that is everything that I ended up selling online this month. So as per usual, I'm gonna go ahead and calculate everything and see how much money I ended up making. I'm having a bit of a hard time with my predictions for this one because I feel like there was quite a few high ticket sales, so we're gonna find out. Alright guys, so for this month, for my online sales, I actually ended up making $308.32. So I was actually surprised by this. I actually didn't think it was going to be this much, so I'm very happy. And that actually means across those 20 items, I actually ended up making a average profit of $15.41. So that's actually really high for me. Like I said, my goal is 10, but clearly I made a lot of really good profits this month. And even though I didn't want to include the hippie market because it doesn't really count as an online sale, I was just curious to see, you know, in total, reselling in person or online, how much did I make this month? So combining both my online and in-person sales, I actually ended up making $485.11. So I'm very proud of that. That is a great chunk of money, so that was awesome. Now guys, I'm debating if I'm gonna need to change the title of these videos now to also include Vinted, because clearly they're in competition with Depop right now. But I am super curious to, you know, see in the upcoming months if this was just kind of like an outlier month or if Vinted does continue to do really well. Especially because on Vinted for the month of October, they did have this shipping sale where if you shipped with Purolator or UPS, the buyer only had to pay 99 cents. So now that that is over, I'm really curious if people are still going to be as likely to buy things. So we'll definitely find out about that next month. I am going to be doing a whole review about Vinted next week. So if you guys are curious to learn more about the app and see if it's something you guys would be interested in selling on, then definitely subscribe because that is what is going to be coming out next week. But I think that's everything I had to talk about today. If you guys have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon.